have you watched the video? هل شاهدتم الفيديو الدرس العدد الترتيبي? I believe all of you have watched the lesson on عدد الترتيبي.
نعم.
نعم. So any question you want to ask about العدد الترتيبي? If there's no question, I will ask a question. I will ask questions. نعم. تفضلوا. لا يوجد سؤال. No questions. Okay. So briefly, أخبرني. Tell me, what is العدد الترتيبي? نعم. What do you remember about العدد الترتيبي? نعم إلهام.
About order, numerical order.
About order, نعم. Ordinal number. Okay. So basically you want to say first, second, third, and so on. نعم. صحيح. هذا هو العدد الترتيبي. So it is a bit different from the normal عدد. Normally you will say واحد, اثنان, ثلاثة. Okay, but in the lesson you have learned to say how to say the first, the second, and the third. نعم. So tell me, what is the first? So واحد is the normal number. العدد الترتيبي. Okay, let us go through quickly. First,
الأول.
نعم. الأول صحيح. الأول. نعم. The second.
الثاني.
نعم. الثاني. The third.
الثالث.
The third. Try without looking at your textbook. How do you say the third? الثالث. نعم. الثالث. نعم. الثالث. Fourth. الرابع. رابع. نعم. Fourth is رابع. نعم. Fifth. Normally we say خمسة.
الخامس.
الخامس. نعم عثمان. الخامس. نعم. Fifth. خمسة. الخامس. ستة. Six. السادس. نعم يشين. السادس. Do you have any other name that I can call you Yishin?
أستاذ, you can call me Asia.
نعم. عافية.
Asia.
Okay. عافية. نعم. شكرا يشين. عافية. نعم. طيب. السادس. نعم صحيح. Seven. سابع. نعم. السابع. Good. Eight. ثامن. الثامن. الثامن. So please include the al as well. The al. الثامن. السادس. السابع. Okay. Now because we want to say the fifth, the second, the third, so we need that alif lam. الثامن. نعم. تسعة. تسعة is the normal number for 9. So ninth. التاسع. نعم. التاسع. صحيح. التاسع. And عشرة. العاشر. نعم. العاشر. نعم. So عشرة is the normal number. العاشر is the 10th. Now, so now you know the difference between these two numbers. Now, but if you look at the lesson, we have muzakkar and muannas versions of the numbers as well. So what we have mentioned just now, these are all lil muzakkar. So if you want to say the first boy, the second boy, the third boy, and so on, so you have to say al-waladul awwal, al-thani, al-salis until al-ashir. But what if you want to describe a woman, a female, a muannas? So how do you say the first for muannas? We don't say al-awwal anymore, we change to
أولى.
al-ula. Naam. Al-ula. Al-ula. Naam. So for example, you say al-bintul ula, the first bint, the first daughter. You say al-bintu al-ula. Don't say al-bintul awwal. Okay? So because al-bintu is muannas. Naam. The second, al-bintu, the second bint. Just now we say al-thani. Thaniyatu. Okay. So now for the rest of the numbers, you just add ta marbuta in the end. So thani becomes thaniya. Thalis becomes thalitha. So you just add ta. Rabi' rabi'ah. Khamis khamisa. Sadis sadisa. Sabi' sabi'ah. Thamin thamina. Tasi' tasi'ah. And al-ashir becomes al-ashira. Okay, so the only difference is for number wahid. Al-awwal, you change to al-ula. Now, okay, any questions so far?
No.
Okay, all right, good. Okay, so that is number one. Okay, and I believe you have also seen in the video, we have explained that these numbers, if you want to say the first, the second, they will come with after a word that you want to describe. Okay, for example, you want to say the first house, you have to mention the word house. Al-baytu, then you mention the number. Al-baytul awwal, the first house. Al-baytu thani, al-baytu thalis. Okay, as you can see in all of the examples here. Okay, al-baytu al-thani, al-baytu thalis. You don't say thani al-bayt, because if you say thani al-bayt, you are referring the second of these houses. So the meaning will be a bit different. So here we just put immediately after the word that you want to describe. Now, and also in the video, I have mentioned that these numbers, so they are actually, in terms of the grammar rule, they are an adjective. So if, since they are adjective, they have to follow the previous word. So if the previous word is muzakkar, then of course the number must be muzakkar, okay, as you have seen just now. If the previous word is muannas, then the number must be muannas. Now, number two, they must be similar in terms of ma'rifah and nakira. They must be similar in terms of ma'rifah and nakira. Now, okay, I believe I have explained in the video these two terms, nakira and also ma'rifah. So can anyone tell me what is this? What are these ma'rifah and nakira? Anyone remember? What are these ma'rifah and nakira?
It's the general and the specific.
General and specific. Now, Madia said general and specific. Which one is general and which one is specific?
The general is ma'rifah. No, is nakira.
Nakira, this is general.
Yes.
Ma'rifah?
Ma'rifah is the specific.
Specific. Ma'rifah is specific. Okay, that is good. Now, but normally the term that we use, we say nakira is indefinite. You do not know which one. We say indefinite word, and for ma'rifah, that is the definite word. So that is the normal, the term that we normally use, definite and also indefinite. So whenever you have a word, for example, when I say waladun, waladun. So this is of course walad bimana boy. But is this ma'rifah or nakira? When I say walad.
Nakira.
Nakira.
Yes, correct. Nakira. Why nakira? Because we do not know which walad. Which walad is it? Okay, any walad. It can be any boy. So normally when you have this word walad, we say a boy. Okay, we say a boy. How do you say the boy? You want to make it definite. You want to say the boy or that boy or this boy. So what do you need to do?
Al.
Yes, you need to change. You need to change this from nakira, change it to ma'rifah. So this is okay. What we mean by ma'rifah. You want to make it specific. So how do you change from nakira to ma'rifah? You have mentioned just now by adding alif lam. Good. So by adding alif lam, the word change from nakira and it becomes ma'rifah. So now we say al-walad. We say al-walad. So al-walad, no longer, the meaning is not a boy, any boy anymore. You say the boy. So it depends. If you want to say, the boy, you just say al-walad. If you want to say this boy, you add haza in front of the word al-walad. But alif lam needs to be there as well. Okay, so you say hadha al-walad. If you want to say that boy, you just change from haza to dhalika, but then you still need to have the alif lam because the word is specific and definite. Okay, so this is how you change from nakira to ma'rifah. But actually, this is just one. This is one way. There is another way. There is another way to change from nakira to ma'rifah. Of course, the first way is by adding the alif lam. But the second way, is by adding a word after the word walad to explain possession to explain which boy, for example. For example, you say, oh, this is the walad. Walad can be a son as well. So you want to say the son of the teacher. The son of the teacher. Waladu al-ustaz. So for example, we say waladul. So here now we have a combination of words. So this is what you have learned as mudaf and also mudaf ilay, if you still remember. Okay, you combine two words. You say walad. Who's walad? Walad al-ustaz. Walad Muhammad. Waladi. You combine the two words. So it becomes mudaf and mudaf ilay. So by adding the word walad to a word which is definite, that is ma'rifah. So this walad becomes ma'rifah as well. Again, I repeat. The word walad, before I add to the word ustaz, walad is a nakira word. Okay, you say a boy. But now you join the word to another ma'rifah word. The next word is a ma'rifah word, al-ustaz. So the meaning is no longer a boy. The meaning is a son. No, the meaning has changed to the son of the ustaz. The son of the ustaz. So there is no alif lam. There is no need to have alif lam. Because why? Because by combining to a word that is ma'rifah, the word itself becomes ma'rifah. Okay, so these are the two ways of changing a word to ma'rifah. The first is by adding the alif lam. This is the normal way. The second way is by adding a mudaf ilay after the word. And when you add this mudaf ilay after the word walad, there is no need to say, or there is no need to put alif lam anymore. If you say al-walad al-ustaz, it becomes khata. It becomes wrong. Why is that? Because what is the function of having alif lam? You want to make it ma'rifah. By having walad, by adding walad to ustaz, it becomes a ma'rifah. So since it is already a ma'rifah, there is no need to add another ma'rifah sign. So that is why whenever you have a mudaf ilai, so the word itself is without alif lam. You cannot have alif lam anymore. But then it is still a ma'rifah word. Okay, so these are the two ways. But for our lesson, we just focus on this. So for this part, you will see this later, inshallah. Okay, by combining the
Okay.
Okay, so we have talked about number 2. They must be similar. So if the word is ma'rifah, al-baytu, for example, with the alif lam, then of course you need to have alif lam for the numbers. Al-thani, al-baytu, al-thalis. And of course, most of the time when you use these ordinal numbers, they are in the ma'rifah form because you want to say that of the specific object. Now, and number 3, what is also important is so these numbers, they must match the word, the previous word, not only in muzakkar and muannas, not only in the ma'rifah and nakira, but also in the i'rab, but also in its i'rab as well. What is i'rab? Did I mention in the video, anywhere in the video? Did you hear this word in the video? No. Okay. I'rab is referring to the sign that you see in the end of a word. Okay. For example, why do we say al-baytu? Al-baytu. Why don't we say al-bayta? Why don't we say al-bayti? So this is related to i'rab. And i'rab is related to all the nahu, the grammar topic that you have learned previously. For example, you have learned the topic of al-mubtada. You have learned the topic of al-khabar. You have learned the topic of fa'il. And you have learned the topic of maf'ulun bih. For example, in the topic that you have learned, ism inna, khabar inna, if you still remember. So let me take this one example. Just to remind you what is this. Okay, i'rab. Naam. So for example, you have learned the topic of mubtada. Okay, anybody remember what is mubtada? Anyone remembers what is this? Mubtada and its partner, it's khabar. What is this mubtada and khabar?
It's like subject and predicate.
It is subject and predicate. Naam, sahih idham. So mubtada is the subject. Mubtada is the subject and the predicate is the khabar. So of course, every time you write a nominal sentence, jumla ismiyah, that is the sentence that starts with a noun, you need to have mubtada. Okay? Yes, you need to have mubtada. So for example, okay, give me a simple sentence consisting of mubtada and khabar. Just 2 words. This is to refresh everything that you have learned, because we are going to use whatever knowledge that we have learned previously for our course. Now, anyone? A simple sentence, mubtada and khabar.
Muhammad mujtahidun.
Muhammad
Mujtahidun.
mujtahidun. Now, so we say Muhammad mujtahidun. Now, Muhammad mujtahidun. Who gave me the example just now? Mardia.
Yeah,
Mardia. Okay. So Mardia said Muhammad mujtahidun. Muhammad mujtahidun. Okay, good. This is a simple example of mubtada wa khabar. You say Muhammad. Muhammad is the mubtada. Muhammad is the subject matter that you want to talk about. Muhammad. So he is a mubtada. And what about Muhammad? Then you mention, oh, Muhammad is mujtahid. He is hardworking. So mujtahid is the khabar. Yes. So here you have mubtada and khabar. Okay, that is just one part of the sentence of the nahu. You identify which one is mubtada and which one is khabar. But of course, in the nahu topic, you have also learned that the khabar must agree with the mubtada. They must be similar in terms of the gender, muzakkar and also muannas. So here, mubtada is muzakkar and your khabar is mujtahid, muzakkar. So the sentence is correct. Okay, you don't say Muhammad and then here mujtahidatun. Of course, it is wrong. They must be similar in terms of the gender. Okay, number one. Number two, they must be similar in terms of the numbers. Muhammad, one person, Muhammad. So the word mujtahid must be mufrad as well. You cannot say Muhammad. So this is one Muhammad, and then here you have mujtahidun, many mujtahidun. So that is wrong. Okay, so they must be similar. So this is parts of the lesson that you learn in mubtada and khabar. But there is also another important aspect of mubtada and khabar, or any nahu topic for that matter. That is the hukum. I normally use the word hukum. Hukum here is referring to these three. If you still remember, it's referring to marfu', mansub, and also majrur. Do you still remember these three terms from your previous lessons? Marfu', mansub, majrur. Do you still remember? What are these? Marfu', mansub, majrur. This, yes, Idham. You want to say anything?
For the sign.
The sign of the word. Okay, good. But the sign is not equal to this marfu', mansub. Marfu', mansub, this is the, I normally use the term hukum, but the proper term is this, of course, the i'rab. Okay, what is the hukum or hukmul i'rab? We say ahkam, the rules. In the ahkam of i'rab. Ahkam of i'rab. So you know that Arabic words, majority of Arabic words, they will change. I mean the last letter normally will change according to their location in the sentence. So for example, here we say Muhammad. The name is Muhammad, but in the sentence, sometimes you see they write Muhammadun. Sometimes you see they write Muhammadin, and sometimes you see the word is Muhammadan. So it can be Muhammadun, it can be Muhammadan, it can be Muhammadin. The same goes to the word Sayyaratun. Sayyara, the word is Sayyara, car, Sayyara. But when it is in a sentence, okay, you will see sometimes they say Sayyaratu, sometimes it is Sayyarati, and sometimes it is Sayyaratan. So why does the word change in terms of the last letter? Why does it change? The reason is this. The reason is this, because of the location, because of the grammar function of the word. So if, for example, the word is mubtada, the word Muhammad in this sentence, it is a mubtada. So mubtada, it has its own hukum. Mubtada, it has its own hukum, which means either one of these three. This is similar to make an analogy, this is similar to your when you learn fiqh. Okay, in fiqh, for example, when we say salat, what is the hukum of salat? Salat fardu, for example, we say salatul zuhur, salatul jumu'ah. What is the hukum?
Wajib.
Wajib. Yes, so that is the hukum. In fiqh, we say salatul zuhur is wajib. So when it is wajib, what is the implication? You must do it, of course. Okay, what is the other implication? If you don't do it, you will be sin. Okay, so that is the implication, the hukum, and also the implication. For example, another like riba, usually riba. What is the hukum?
Haram.
Yes, of course, haram. So what is the implication when it is haram? Or what does it mean when we say haram? Of course, we cannot do it. So as in the fiqh, you have hukum and you have the implication. We also have that similar system in nahu. So in nahu, but of course the hukum is not wajib, sunnat, what else? Mubah. Mubah is permissible, harus. Mubah. No. In nahu, we have these three. Actually, four. But when we talk about noun, we only use these three terms or these three hukum. So the first hukum is marfu'. Marfu'. There is no the translation of the word marfu'. Marfu' literally it means something that is raised. You raise something, but of course it does not make any sense. So we just take the word as it is, marfu'. So what is important? When something is marfu', we need to know what is the implication of the word. When something is marfu', so like Idham mentioned just now, you have a sign. Okay, you will see certain sign, the implication of marfu' for the word. So you will see certain sign. Marfu', there will be a sign. When you say the hukum is mansub, there is another sign that you have to use in the end of the word. When you say the word is majrur, there is another sign that you have to use. Okay, so these are the similarity between this hukum, nahu, marfu', mansub, majrur, and what you have, the hukum that you have in fiqh. Okay, just analogy. Hopefully you can, it can be understood. Now we go back to this mubtada, khabar, and all of the nahu topic that you have learned. So when you learn about mubtada, you will learn that mubtada has a hukum. The hukum of mubtada is always marfu. Just like salah just now, salah is always wajib. So mubtada, the hukum is always marfu. So here we just memorize. We just memorize. When you learn any topic, any nahu topic, they will tell you, oh, this topic, the hukum is marfu. This topic, the hukum is mansub. This topic, the hukum is majrur. So what do we do? We just memorize. Okay, we just memorize. Mubtada is always marfu. That is number one. What about the khabar? What about predicate? What is the hukum of a khabar? Either one of these three, marfu, mansub, or majrur. Anyone remembers what is the hukum of khabar? Khabar is also marfu. So this is also something that you need to memorize. So mubtada is always marfu, khabar is always marfu. Okay, so now we know the hukum. Okay, we know the hukum. So what is the implication of the hukum to the word? So this is what we mean here. When I say marfu, it has a sign, mansub as a sign, majrur as a sign. Okay, when we say something is, when something is marfu, or when the word is in the state of marfu, the hukum is always dhamma. Sorry, the alama, the sign, not the hukum. The alama. We will talk about the alama. Or alamat, plural for alama, alamat, the signs. These are the signs that you will see in the end of the word when it is in the state of marfu. So the first sign is dhamma. What is a dhamma? What is a dhamma? What is a dhamma? Is it u, a, or e? Of course, this is a dhamma, right? Dhamma. So it can be dhamma wahida, one dhamma, or it can be dhamma with a tanwin. That is dhamma.
Okay.
Yes, so dhamma. So okay, we do some revision. So this is what we call a dhamma. And what about this one? One or two? Above the letter, what do you call this? This is above the letter. What do you call this? The second one. Fat. Fatha.
Again,
Fathatun. Fatha. We say fatha. So fatha is where you end the word with a. Dhamma where you end the word with u or un. Okay. And what about this one? Below the letter. What do you call this alama or this sign? Kasra. Naam, sahih. Sahih. Kasra. Okay. So these are the signs. These are the three signs that you normally see in the end of the word, in the end of a noun. So, for example, the word Muhammadun just now, as I mentioned, Muhammadun, sometimes you see this word ends with a dhamma. So you read Muhammadun. Sometimes they end with a fathah. You read Muhammadan, and sometimes it ends with a kasra. You read Muhammadin. So what governs all this? So this is the thing that governs. How do you say Muhammadan, Muhammadun, or Muhammadin? So when the word is mubtada, we said the hukum is always marfu. When the word is marfu, the sign, either one of these three, the sign is always dhamma. So this is another thing that you need to memorize. Just now we said you need to memorize mubtada is marfu, khabar is marfu. Okay, that is number one. Number two, everything that is marfu, what is the sign that you use?
Dhamma.
Dhamma. So that is the second thing that you have to memorize. Just memorize. At the moment, just memorize. Mubtada marfu, khabar marfu. When something is marfu, you use a dhamma. Right? Okay,
Yes.
good. So that is okay, I give you another example. Another topic that you have also learned previously. Okay, you have learned. Okay, give me a jumlah fi'liyah. Jumlah fi'liyah that consists of fi'il, fa'il, maf'ul bih. You have the fi'il, the verb. You have the fa'il, the person, the doer, and you have the object, maf'ul bihi. Can anyone give me a simple sentence? Fi'il, fa'il, maf'ul bih. 3 words. Any fi'il, a suitable fi'il.
Yazhabu
Yazhabu.
Muhammad.
Yazhabu Muhammad. Yes.
Fi'l.
Ya,
Yazhabu Muhammad ilal masjid.
Yazhabu Muhammad ilal masjid.
Masjid.
Masjid. Asia, right? Your name again?
Yeah, Asia.
Afia, sorry, Afia. Okay, sorry, Afia. Yazhabu Muhammadun ilal masjid. Okay, your sentence is correct. Al-jumlah sahiha, but here you have yazhabu. Yes, this is a fi'il. This is a fi'il. Fi'il mudari. Good. This is a fi'il mudari. And Muhammad, this is your fa'il. Okay, good. So you have a fi'il and you have the doer, fa'il. But in this jumlah, you don't have a maf'ulun bih. You don't have an object. Because why? Because the fi'il yazhabu does not come with a maf'ulun bih. Of course, you cannot have a maf'ulun bih. So instead of having a maf'ulun bih, yes, you can use ilal. You can use the harful jar, ilal masjid. So this is also considered correct. Okay, ilal masjid. Okay, no problem. We can look at this jumlah. So here, if you look at the sentence, you have a fi'il mudari, and then you have a fa'il. So this is one topic that you have learned previously, fa'il. Fa'il is the doer. So anybody remembers what is the hukum of a fa'il? Is it marfu, is it mansub, or is it majroor?
It's the second one.
The second one. So what is that? Okay. Normally when you have a fi'il yazhabu and then the word, the person, how do you read this Muhammad? Do you say Muhammadun, Muhammadin, or Muhammadan? Sometimes we do not know what is the hukum, but we know how to read it. So that is weird. Actually, you should know what is the hukum, then only you will be able to read it correctly. Okay, but some people they know how to read correctly, but when we ask why do you read Muhammadun, they cannot answer. But it is okay. Okay, how do you say this? How do you read this? Muhammadun, yazhabu Muhammadun, or yazhabu Muhammadan, or yazhabu Muhammadin?
Muhammadun.
Muhammadun. You say, Safwan says Muhammadun. Okay. Why do you say Muhammadun?
It's the first one. Smell 4.
Marfu. Okay, it is marfu. Okay, good. You say it is marfu. Then, of course, when something is marfu, you have to use a dhamma. Okay, that is good. My second question, why do you say it is marfu? Why marfu? Why not mansub or why not majrur?
Because it
Because
is
have dhamma.
Because it is fa'il. Yes, good, Ilham. Because it is a fa'il. So this topic, when you learn the topic of al-fa'il, you will see that they say the hukum of a fa'il is marfu as well. So this is another, this is also something that you have to memorize. Just like mubtada, marfu. Khabar, marfu. Now you have fa'il is also marfu.
Marfu.
So
Okay.
in the end, you are going to have a list of words that are marfu. So you say marfu, number 1 is mubtada. Marfu, number 2 is khabar. Marfu, number 3 is fa'il. Okay. Marfu, number 4 is what? We are going to learn one topic later. Another topic which is also marfu. Okay. So they are all together, if not mistaken, there are 6 items. Okay. In the grammar, in the Arabic grammar, there are marfu. 6 items. Mubtada, khabar, fa'il. So these 3 we have mentioned. And then you will learn something that the topic is called Na'ibul Fa'il. I believe it is towards the end of the semester. Na'ibul Fa'il 4. And the other 2 you have learned previously. If you still remember, Isim Kana. If you still remember the topic of Isim Kana. And another topic of Khabar Inna. When you learn Inna, Kana. So okay, you can go back to your previous lesson. You see Isim Inna, that is also marfu. You see Khabar Kana, that is also Isim Kana, that is marfu, and Khabar Inna, that is marfu. So altogether there are 6 topics. So you have learned 5 of them. So the other one we will learn this semester, inshallah. Okay, so this is marfu. So when fa'il is marfu, of course, marfu, it will end with a dhamma. That's why you say yazhabu Muhammadun. So now you are correct. Okay, so far it is correct. Now, next we look at the next word. This is ila. Ila is harful jar. Ila is harful jar. Harful jar, ila. And what happened when you have harful jar? Remember the harful jar? The huruful jar, you have what? You have ila. What else? What are the huruful jar that you remember?
Fi, ala,
Fi.
Sahih.
Fi.
Ila, fi,
Fi.
ala. Good.
Min.
What else? Bi. Yes, bi.
Min. Mina.
Min.
Mina.
Mina or min. Yes, good.
Min.
Min or mina.
A lot.
What? An.
An.
An. About. Yes. An. About. Any other words? Li. Don't forget. This is also important word. Li. For.
Okay.
Li. For. So these are the most important huruful jar. Okay, the most important huruful jar. Of course, there are several others, but these are the most important. So when you have a harful jar, so in your previous lesson, when you have a harful jar, how do you read the word after the harful jar?
You had to read kasra.
You have to read with a kasra. Good. You have to read with a kasra. So this is what your ustaz or your ustazah have told you previously. Every time you have harful jar, you read with the word with a kasra. So in the sentence, you say ilal masjid. Masjidi. Okay, good. But my question, why do you have to put a kasra? Why can't I put a fatha ilal masjidah?
Because it's in a hukum.
There must be a hukum.
The
Then
second
only-
hukum.
There must be a hukum. It is not simply because you have harful jar, then you read the word kasrah. So there is a missing step in the middle between the harful jar and the kasrah. So something is missing in the middle. Previously, your ustazah just want to make it simple. So they just say every time you see harful jar, you put a kasrah. But why a kasrah?
Because it's the hukum.
Yes, the hukum is missing. Not that they do not want to teach you, they want to make it simple. Because at that time, it is quite difficult to teach you all these hukum, marfu, mansub, and majrur. Okay, so that is why they don't
Explain.
yes, they don't teach you all this. Okay, let me. Okay, so what do you think? What is the hukum? What is the hukum out of these three, marfu, mansub, and majrur? What is the hukum of the word that is that comes after the harful jar?
I think majrur.
Yes, majrur. Majrur. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, good. Yes, the answer is majrur. If you look at the name of this huruf, what is the name? Huruf of what?
Jar.
Jar. What is this jar? Jar is majrur. Jar is actually, we don't translate the word jar because this is a grammar term. So why do they call it huruful jar? Because the next word, the following word must always be in the state of majrur. So if you look at the word jar and majrur, they comes from the same root word where you have the jim, ra, and another ra. Jim, okay, you have a jim, you have ra, and you have a ra. So why do we call it huruful jar? Because the next word is always in the state of majrur. Okay, that is what. So jar and majrur. Jar and majrur. So when a word is majrur, okay, how do you end the word? Of course, when a word is majrur, you will end the word with a kasrah. You will have to end the word with a kasrah. Okay, so that is why in the sentence we say yazhabu Muhammadun ilal masjidi. So when you say if you say ilal masjidah or ilal masjidu, then it is khata. Why? Because it is majrur, and majrur is supposed to have the kasrah and not the fathah or not the dhammah. Okay, so is it clear about the majrur now? Of course, this is the basic things. Later I will add some more. Okay, today we only learn this. If it is marfu, then you end it with a dhammah. If it is majrur, then you end the word with a kasrah. Okay, what about the last one, mansub? What about mansub? So here we have the marfu. Marfu, now you know. Marfu, you end the word with a dhammah. Mansub, majrur, you end the word with a kasrah. Yes. What about mansub?
Fathah.
Fathah, of course. Mansub, when a word is in the state of mansub, you have to end it with a fathah. Good. Okay, now we want to look at an example when the word is in the state of mansub. Okay, so we go back to our example. Just now I said I want jumlah, fi'il, fa'il, and maf'ulun bih. Okay, we use another verb. Let's take another verb. Another verb that you will have to put an object in the sentence.
Akala.
Akala. Okay, good. Akala. Okay, akala. Okay, give me the sentence. Akala.
Akala Zaidun ad-Dajjaj.
Akala Zaidun
Dajjaj.
Dajjaj or Dajjaj? How do you read the word?
Chicken.
Dajjaj, we don't say Dajjaj. Dajjaj, it becomes Dajjal later. Dajjaj, we say Dajjaj. Naam, sahih, shukran. Akala Zaid ad-Dajjaj. Akala Zaid ad-Dajjaj. Of course, when you speak, you don't have to mention all this marfu, so you just say Akala Zaid ad-Dajjaj. Akala Zaid ad-Dajjaj. Done. But when we read the sentence, okay, of course, we need to write it correctly with all these vowel points. Okay, first, Akala Zaid. How do you read this Zaid? Zaidun or Zaidan or Zaidin?
Zaidun.
Zaidun, good. Why Zaidun?
Because fa'il.
Fa'il. This is similar to the previous sentence. Zaidun. So when it is a fa'il, what is the hukum?
Maf'ul.
Marfu.
Or marfu.
Majrur is the another one. This is the first one. Marfu. Okay, this is marfu. So when it is marfu, you end it with a dhammah. Yes, good. Okay, so that is akala Zaidun. Okay, good. Done. So this is the fi'il. This is the fi'il. This is the fa'il. Marfu. And this is your maf'ul bih. This is your object. Maf'ul bihi means the object. Something that you do to it. What do you do to it? Then you call it maf'ul bihi. Maf'ul bihi. So Dajjaj. Dajjaj is maf'ul bih. Okay. How do you read this the last letter, Jim. Is it dajaju, dajaja, or dajaji in this particular sentence?
Dajaja.
Dajaja. You say dajaja. Why dajaja? My next question is why dajaja? Why not dajaju or dajaji?
Because the hukum.
The hukum, because.
Yes, because of the hukum. So what is the hukum? Before we say the hukum, we need to know this word dajaj is a maf'ul bih. So what is the hukum of maf'ul bih?
Second hukum.
The second hukum. What is the second hukum?
Mansub.
Mansub. Good. Yes, sahih. So when you learn maf'ulun bih, you will see that they say maf'ulun bih is mansub.
Okay.
So you just memorize. Again, you just memorize. Mansub, maf'ulun bih. So in the end, you can have your own list. Marfu, as I've mentioned just now, marfu, you have 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mansub, now the first thing, that is mansub. Later, maybe next 2-3 weeks, we will learn the second mansub. You will learn maf'ul, what are the other maf'ul as well. Okay, so in the end, you are going to have a list of mansub as well. Okay, so mansub, good. Maf'ulun bih is mansub. And when it is mansub, as we have seen just now, when it is marfu, yes, you end it with a fathah. Yes, good. You end it with a fathah. Therefore, if for the word dajaj in this sentence, you have to say akala zaidun at dajaja. Let's say akala daidun at dajaju. Okay, so it must be akala zaidun at dajaja. Okay, sorry. So this is okay. So this is just a summary. Summary of summary or a revision about this marfu', mansub, and majrur. I will repeat this inshallah. If in any other lesson that involve this hukum, I will always repeat this, and I will add some other information as well. Okay. Now, so now we go back to our topic of this adad tartibi. So we said that this adad, they must be similar to the previous word in terms of its hukum. It means if the previous word is marfu, then the adad must be marfu. If the previous word is mansub, the adad must be mansub. And if the previous word is majrur, the adad must be majrur. And most of the time, in the example that you see, most of the time, the haraka or the vowel points, fathah, kasrah, and dhammah, they are similar. Okay, so let us go through all these sentences. And let us see whether they are similar or not. Okay, look at number 1. Al-Baitu. Al-Baitu. So here, Al-Baitu, why do you read with the dhamma? Because this is a mubtada. You want to say the first house. So this is the mubtada. So mubtada, as we have seen just now, mubtada is always marfu. So when it is marfu, of course, you end it with a dhamma. So you say Al-Baitu. So this one we have covered just now. Al-Baitu. So now comes the Al-Adad. Okay, so Al-Adad here is the hukum is similar to an adjective or a sifa. So an adjective, it follows the previous word. So if the previous word, what is the hukum of the previous word just now? Marfu, mansub, or majrur?
Marfu.
Marfu, good. Marfu. So since the previous word is in the state of marfu, so this word must be marfu. It must be marfu as well. Okay? So they just follow. So here marfu with the dhamma. Therefore, marfu for the word awal, marfu with a dhamma. Okay, so this is the sign. Now let us look at. Okay, we skip number 2. I will come back to number 2. We skip number 2. We go to number 3. Al-Baitu as-salis. This is similar to the first example. Al-Baitu, the mubtada. So this is marfu with a dhamma. So as-salis is the adjective. The adad tartibi. So again, it follows the previous word in terms of its hukum, which is also marfu. So since this is marfu, therefore you end it with a dhamma. Okay. So in this sentence, in this example, so both of the words end with a dhamma. Okay, because both of them are marfu. The fourth jumlah is also similar. Al-Baitu mubtada marfu. Marfu, it ends with a dhamma. Al-Rabi, this is the adjective. It is also marfu and it ends with a dhamma. So for example, for al-jumla al-ula, al-thalisa, and jumla rabi'ah, so you see dhamma in the end of both words. But what about al-jumla tu-thaniya? If you look at jumlah thaniyah, al-baitu al-thani. Al-baitu al-thani. If we use the same hukum that we have learned just now, how should we read this word? Like the word, like the jumlah al-ula, al-jumlah al-ula, al-baitu al-awwalu, al-baitu al-thani. How should we read this thani?
ثاني
Asani.
يو
Yes. By right, you should read the word asaniyu. Why? Okay, the same explanation. Because this is adjective to the previous word. And since this is marfu, this must be marfu as well. Okay, yes, that is correct. But for this word, this is a special word. This is a special word. It ends with a ya. So for a word that ends with a ya, such as athani, whenever it is in the state of marfu, they remove this. They don't read the dhamma. Why they don't read the dhamma? Because they said asaniyu is a bit difficult to read. Asaniyu. Asaniyu. So they said it is better for us to remove the dhamma. So that is why for this word, no one will say asaniyu. Everyone will say asani. Okay? But the haraka actually it should have a dhamma, but it has been removed. Okay? So there are cases like this where you don't see the haraka. So when you don't see the haraka, then you can ask, why don't I see the haraka? So there will be an explanation. Okay, but for most of the words, you will see them. Okay, you will see this dhamma, and dhamma, except for the word asan. Alright? Okay, so here we don't read with the dhamma. Now, so these are the three important aspects of al-adad tartibi, similar in terms of the gender, similar in terms of ma'rifah and nakira, and similar in terms of the hukum. Okay, so done with the important points of this topic. Any question? Have you looked at the exercises as well? I believe in the video we have done all the exercises. Okay, so any questions? Okay. If you look at exercise dal. This is testing your knowledge not only about the al-adad at-tartibi, but also about the hukum just now. Also about the rules, whether you use muzakkar, whether you use muannas, whether you use a majrur word, whether you use a mansub word, or whether you use a marfu word. Okay. So for example, number 1. You say here they say akhi talibun fi sanatil. Which one? My brother is a student in year. Which year? So you need to say 5th year. So here these are all number 5. But number 1, which one is the adad tartibi out of these 3? Adad tartibi.
Al-Hamis.
Al-Hamis adad tartibi, sahih. What about the second one? Is this adad tartibi?
Yes.
Yes, this is also adad tartibi. Good. What about the third one? Is this adad tartibi?
What is an tartibi?
No. So the last one, this is the normal adad. So we don't use the normal adad, this jumlah. So we have to use either khamis or khamisa. That is number 1. You find the correct adad tartibi. Number 2, then you check the rules. You check whether it is similar to the previous word or not. So if you look at the previous word, this is what? A muzakkar or muannas? Muannas. Therefore, you have to use the muannas word, which is khamisa.
Okay.
So now you choose it. You choose the correct word, khamisa, not khamis. Sometimes they give you khamisa and they give you another option, another choice. They say al-khamisata or al-khamisatu. Then you have to look at the hukum as well. So this is what? Oh, you have jar.
Okay.
So you have jar. So this is majrur. So since this is majrur, this must be majrur as well. So which one is majrur? Of course, khamisati. Okay? So when you do this kind of exercise, you need to look at all these 3 aspects as well. Muzakkar, muannas, ma'rifah, nakira, and also the hukum, i'rab. Okay? So you can go through the exercises again. So I believe this is what is important for this topic, al-adad at-tartibi. Okay. Any other question? Last question, if you have, about adad tartibi. Yeah. No. Yes, please.
Not related to adat tartib. It's about the question number 2. Ufaddilul qanata. It is the end of the word is read as fathah, right?
Yes.
So why is that? Isn't
Okay, good question. Yes. So Idham is asking this question, referring to question number 2. Ufaddilul qanata. Ufaddilul qanata. So the question is, why does this word end with fathah? Why not qanatu? Why not qanati? Okay, very good question. Let us check. So using whatever that you have learned in Nahu, you will be able to solve the mystery. Why is it qanata and not why qanati? Okay, now let us check from the beginning. Ufaddilu, this is what is this? A fi'al or a noun? A fi'al or an isim?
فعل.
A fi'al, yes. Ufaddilu is a verb. Fi'al mudari. What does it mean? Ufaddilu,
walk.
walk.
Walking.
No. That walking, to walk is ana. Amshi, I walk.
Okay.
Ufaddil, ana ufaddil. I like or I prefer.
Okay.
Ana ufaddil al-kitab. Ana ufaddil hazal kitab. I prefer this book. Ana ufaddil an adrus fil bait. Ufaddil, I prefer to study at home rather than coming to UAE. Ufaddil. So this is your verb. And whenever you have a fi'al, you need to have
fa'il?
fa'il. Good. Who is the fa'il here? Who, when we say ufaddil, who is the fa'il? Who prefers?
I?
Yes, I. In this case, the fa'il is ana. So you have these two. You have the verb and you have the fa'il. Okay. Now, the next question. What I prefer? What do I prefer? I prefer the qanat. I prefer the channel. Qanat here is channel. Okay. Qanat is channel. So I prefer the channel. So here the word qanat, since you have fi'il, you have a fa'il. What is the next word normally?
Maf'ulun bih.
Good, it is the maf'ulun bih. So from what you have mentioned just now, maf'ulun bih, what is the hukum?
It's
Mansub, majrur. Before you say fathah, before you say dhamma, you have to mention the hukum.
Mansub.
Mansub, good.
منصورة.
Yes, don't skip, don't jump straight to the alama. Okay,
Okay.
don't jump straight. Why? You will see that later. Because later you will see that for mansub, it has more than one alama. It has not, the alama is not only with a fathah. You will see some other alamat as well. So don't jump straight. You need to identify the hukum. The hukum is what? Mansub.
منصورة.
Then only you can say, oh, mansub, it ends with a
فاتحة.
that is why. So the answer, why do you end the word with a fathah? Because it is a maf'ulun bih, and a maf'ulun bih is mansub.
Okay.
Then only you can say the fathah.
Thank you.
Okay, good question. So since this is mansub, therefore this part must be mansub as well. So that is why we say al-qanata
سابعة.
sabi'ata. Because qana is mu'annas, sabi'a is mu'annas.
مؤنث.
Okay, yes.